In the world of true crime and obsession, few stories are as bizarre and disturbing as that of Carl Tanzler. A man so consumed by love, so obsessed with an idea, that he did something unthinkable. This is the chilling true story of the doctor who refused to let death separate him from his beloved. The story begins in the early 1930s in Key West, Florida. Carl Tanzler, a German-born radiologist, worked at the U.S. Marine Hospital. He was well respected, but those who knew him recalled his strange, almost obsessive personality. Tanzler claimed he had visions of a beautiful dark-haired woman, a vision that haunted him since childhood. He believed she was his destined soulmate. Then one day, he met her. Elena de Hoyos was a stunning Cuban-American woman, just 21 years old, who was diagnosed with tuberculosis, a deadly disease at the time. When Tanzler saw her, he was convinced she was the woman from his visions. He became obsessed, dedicating himself entirely to trying to cure her. But despite his efforts, Elena succumbed to the illness on October 25, 1931. Elena was buried in a mausoleum paid for by Tanzler. But what no one knew was that he alone had the key. Unable to let go, he visited her grave almost every night. But soon, even that wasn't enough. His obsession took a much darker turn. In 1933, 2 years after her death, Tanzler made a shocking decision. Under the cover of darkness, he snuck into the cemetery, broke into Elena's tomb, and took her body home. For the next 7 years, Carl Tanzler lived with Elena's corpse. But time and decay were not kind. In an attempt to preserve her, he used wires to keep her bones together, replaced her decomposing skin with silk and wax, and even stuffed her body with rags to keep her form intact. He dressed her in fine clothes, applied makeup, and placed a wig made from her real hair on her head. Even more disturbingly, Tanzler placed glass eyes in her skull so she could look at him forever. To him, she was still alive. For years, Tanzler danced with Elena's corpse, spoke to her, and slept beside her. Neighbors grew suspicious. Rumors spread of a life-sized doll visible through his window. It wasn't until 1940 that Elena's sister forced an investigation. When authorities entered Tanzler's home, they were met with an unimaginable horror. Elena's corpse, dressed like a bride, sat in a chair as if she were waiting for something, or someone. The once beautiful young woman had been turned into a lifeless marionette. Tanzler was arrested and charged with grave robbery and desecration. But shockingly, public sympathy grew. Many saw him not as a monster, but as a man blinded by love. Even stranger, Tanzler was never imprisoned. His charges were dropped due to the statute of limitations. Was Carl a hopeless romantic or a madman? Let us know in the comments below.